Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Mancini, President of Carteret Community College, and I'd like to welcome you to our next issue of Sound Bytes, the official podcast of Carteret Community College. Today I'm delighted to be with folks from the Big Rock Blue Marlin Fishing Tournament, Tommy Bennett, who's on the board of that and chair of the charity committee, and Carlee Sharpe, who runs the KWLA and Kids Big Rock Fishing Tournament. It's great to have you both with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Well, Big Rock has given, you crossed the $1 million milestone this past year in charity giving. And for the folks out there, Tommy, would you mind giving your elevator speech about what the Big Rock Fishing Tournament is and the foundation?
Oh boy, that's a big question, Tracy. But the Big Rock Tournament to me is one of the premier events in Carteret County in North Carolina. To me, it is the greatest greatest Blue Marlin tournament in the world. You know, end of conversation. There's just nobody else in the Blue Marlin tournament business in our league. We exist to have a world-class event, the Big Rock Tournament in June of every year. In addition, we also run the KWLA Ladies Angler Big Rock Tournament, and a new addition last year, the Big Rock Kids Tournament. We have a mission statement, and I'm sure we'll get into that in a minute. We obviously are here to promote sport fishing in Carteret County, sport fishing in North Carolina. We're all about conservation, a lot of catch and release involved in the tournaments that probably don't get the big publicity that the Big Fish on the Dock does. And then, of course, the charitable aspect of the tournament. The tournament is by far the largest philanthropic organization in the county. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Yes, Carteret Community College has definitely been a beneficiary of that charity. The foundation has supported our North Carolina Marine Science and Technology building, our Career Center.
We do business as the Big Rock in lots of cases. But as I mentioned, we've got the 3 tournaments, all separate and distinct entities. And then we have a foundation that we fund with the proceeds of the tournament. And that is kind of our philanthropic charitable arm of what we do. And certainly the community college is a deserving recipient of our funds. And we have been very generous with the college, to be quite frank about it. You mentioned the North Carolina Martech building there on campus. I can't remember how many years ago, but the tournament funded the what's now known as the Big Rock Boat Building Laboratory in that building. It's got a great sign in there, and it's a perfect location looking out over the water. Recently, and we've given other smaller donations, I think, over the years. Recently, we made a contribution to the college that turned into the Big Rock Career Center, and maybe we ought to ask you about that. You can tell the folks some more about that, but you hosted us for the grand opening there recently. A great facility, that clearinghouse of job seekers and businesses and companies that have jobs to offer, and resume building, and you do the commercial on that one. But the college just really fits the bill for us. And we are about having a great event and conservation and charity, but we're also about building a quality of life in Carteret County. And I think that's something that runs through a lot of the decisions that we make. And really, I think the community college might fit that bill more than perhaps some other. Just that vibrancy in our community that you have to have, and education and opportunity is one of those things that help build the quality of life in any community. And certainly your predecessor, or one of them, said the most important word in your title, in your the name of your institution, is community, and that resonates with us too in a lot of what we do. So
community is our middle name.
Sure, there you go, exactly. Great line too. Great line.
Yeah. Well, no, we really appreciate that, and I know this year, for example, your sponsorship of the Carteret County Public Schools teaching scholars and teaching fellow program is really going to be mutually helpful to both the public schools and to the community college. And the idea is to grow our own teachers here in Carteret County. And so if we can capture a few interested, aspiring teachers from the high schools, send them 2 years to the college and then 2 years for bachelor's degree, and then ask them to return to the schools.
Yeah. It is interesting to me that the community college and the public school system, the Board of Education, seem to be some of the larger recipients of Big Rock dollars here lately. And I think it speaks to what I just said. It's a quality of life issue. You know, Morehead City is the home of the Big Rock tournament, but that also means that Carteret County is the home of the Big Rock tournament. And Carteret County is 90 miles wide from end to end. That's a lot of territory to cover. And, you know, if you can do something in Morehead at the community college, you can do something in Beaufort for the Board of Education, you're serving those communities, but all of Carteret County. The idea for the Big Rock Teaching Fellows came out of our relationship with the Board of Education. And, you know, paired with our desire to improve quality of life and have this vibrant, growing, you know, wonderful community that we enjoy, it was just a great thing to happen. And I think we funded, $200,000, Carlee, in that most recently, I guess. And the Public School Foundation has picked up with that. They're running with it. They had a big event last week, I believe, to kind of help raise more awareness and more money for that. And you're absolutely right. The end result is that if a young person from Carteret County wants to become a teacher, they have the means to do so. And yeah, there's a little clause that says they got to come back. They have to go to the community college, which is good for you for 2 years, but great for all of us because they have to come back and work here for a certain period of time. So again, just one of those simple but great things you can do for your community.
Yeah. Well, and I did want to mention, you mentioned the NC Martech building, and last week we have a new boat building instructor this year who's building a wonderful composite boat with the students, and they did a boat flip where they had built a wooden boat form on a jig, and then they did fiberglass layers on it, and then last week used one of our forklifts at the college to flip the boat over, and it was a really exciting moment. Cool. So we'll have you over. You know,
it reminds me, walking through that building is great. It's a great place to go, just to look in and see what's going on. You know, if you're into woodworking and things like that, there's plenty of opportunities for you there to at least just go look and be fascinated. But several years ago, the students over there built a small boat, and the Big Rock bought a motor for it, and I think y'all auctioned it off or something, and you know, more money being raised for Martech and for the community college. And again, you know, the Big Rock had a small part in that too. So, you know, we're everywhere at the community college. Yeah.
Carlee, with the children's tournament, the Big Rock Kids Tournament and KWLA, can you tell us a little bit more about the philosophy of those?
Yeah, of course. So one of the key components of the Big Rock's mission statement is growing the sport and promoting it in Carteret County and in North Carolina. So what better way to do that than getting the next generation of anglers involved in sport fishing? That was a motive that everyone on the board agreed with and the whole community has supported. Last year we had our first tournament and had 59 boats and over 200 junior anglers compete in the tournament, which was a huge success, and we're really looking forward to growing that in the years to come.
That's so great. And so what was the biggest fish that a child caught last year?
Well, we had one kid release a blue marlin, which was a huge deal. So exciting. We had, I believe it was over 40 other billfish released, so sailfish and white marlin and pretty big dolphin and wahoo, nearly 30 pounds. So we had so many game fish weighed in, more than the entire week of Big Rock. So it was a lot of excitement during that week, a lot of smiling faces. Yeah,
Tracy, the other thing, we weighed in some little tiny dolphins too. You know, there were some big ones, but boy, there were some little ones. But the point was, as Carlee said, is we want those kids to be exposed to the sport of offshore fishing to just, get used to the lifestyle and enjoy it, fishing with their families and their friends. And we encourage them all to come to the scale. So we weighed in everything, and it's a riot. I mean, it's just a riot. The kids are worn out. It's a long day, and they get back to the scales and they're tired, but they hang that fish up there, and it's like, yes, I did it. And it's just, it's very heartwarming.
Oh,
And that's, I do a lot of talking, obviously. They stick me down there with a microphone, and what I said and what I will continue to say during the Big Rock Kids Tournament is we are making memories right here on the Morehead City waterfront. And honestly, that's what it comes down to.
Oh, for their whole lives, they'll remember that. It's wonderful.
We take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures.
Now, do either of you fish? Have you fished the tournament before?
I have. Growing up, I fished with some family friends, and it was what got me interested in working for Big Rock, and it's really a dream come true.
Yeah, I fished in the tournament for many years with, I had a group of friends, and we always fished together. The highlight of my Big Rock career, I have released a blue marlin in the Big Rock tournament, and my boat, the boat that I was on, won the big dolphin category, maybe the second year we had it. Last year, how much money did they win?
$530,000.
Okay, now don't get too excited. We won $8,000 and we caught a 55+ pound dolphin. Won the category going away, and boy, we won $8,000.
That's wonderful.
So,
Wow.
I mean, I think that really speaks to the growth of the tournament in the
does.
last 10 to 15 years. The community has supported us wholeheartedly, and it keeps it just growing and growing year after year.
Yeah.
So,
and look, and we also need to be honest about this. We've got people like Carlee that work for us, that the tournament means an awful lot to them. We've been very blessed with the people who man our offices and retail store on a day-to-day, year-round basis. And the enthusiasm that they contribute to the tournament makes our job so much easier. Yeah, you can come in here, we can talk about this and that, but the work happens with people like Carlee and Madison and Crystal and the other girls down there. There's a lot to it.
Is the store open year-round, and do the proceeds from the store go into the foundation as well?
absolutely. We're open year-round, Monday through Saturday, and during the summer we're open on Sundays as well. But that store wholeheartedly funds our tournament donations year-round. Absolutely. Every time you buy a T-shirt, that money goes directly back to community projects.
And for those who don't know, do you want to tell them where it is?
Yep.
The store?
So the Big Rock store is located right on the Morehead City waterfront at 710 Evans Street. And we also have an online store, www.thebigrockstore.com.
That's great. And you all must be preparing because it's fast around the corner.
That's
the
a question
next,
for Carlee.
tournament. Yeah, so
I haven't been told what I'm supposed to do yet for this year. So,
okay. So tell us what's in store this year.
Yeah, so we have a lot of exciting stuff this year. Starting out, the week of the tournament is June 10th through the 19th. So starting out, we have our 25th annual Lady Angler Tournament, which we're so excited for. That started in 1998, so we're looking forward to making that a big celebration for all of our lady anglers. And they'll fish one day on Saturday, June 11th, and compete then. And then Saturday night, we're thrilled to welcome back all events during the week of Big Rock. So we'll have the Captain's Party right at the Crystal Coast Civic Center on y'all's campus. Mm-hmm. And we're really looking forward to having everyone gathered together again after the last few years dealing with COVID, and just looking forward to gathering together and celebrating Carteret County and sport fishing. And then Sunday we'll have our prayer breakfast and our community pig picking with our participants. And Monday starts a week of exciting fishing, and we have a few new levels this year. Mm-hmm. One that we're really excited about, the Super 20 level. So that level will cost $20,000 to enter, and we're projecting about 50 boats will enter that level. And that will have a payout of $850,000.
Oh, my goodness.
If that fish hangs on to win the whole tournament, they could win about $3.5 million. So that would be a new record for any fish caught ever in any tournament. So we're really hoping that kicks off. And we've also created another level to include more of the outboards. That's I think where the tournament has really grown in the last few years is our outboard participants. Mm-hmm. I think families really enjoy going out on outboards, and just making it more inclusive, we added the outboard release winner-take-all level. So we're looking forward to growing that division.
Yeah, the college has a small fishing tournament,
Yeah.
a Spanish mackerel fishing and dolphin fishing tournament that we always run, and we are a very family-oriented fishing tournament, and that's just so much fun to have kids on board, and they just come back, like you said, with huge smiles on their faces.
Interestingly, speaking about the family aspect of it, last year the winning boat. The fish was caught. Well, they caught 2 blue marlin. Weighed in 2 blue marlins last year. I know they might have finished first and fourth, but 2 brothers scored. On the same boat in the same week. And I mean, if that's not indicative of families fishing together and having a great time together, I don't know what is.
I'm sure their parents were glad they both caught something.
Very
Well, yeah. I mean, little brother catches, or I think older brother caught the first one, and then younger brother caught the winning fish. I imagine there was a little ribbon going on there at various times during the week.
And to continue with that story, back in 2019, the oldest brother weighed in a fish during Big Rock, which that wasn't large enough to hang on to first place or anything, but still what an accomplishment to be a teenager and weigh in a fish at Big Rock Landing. That's incredible.
There's the old Bing Crosby golf tournament, that clam bake kind of feeling, and everybody looked forward to being there, in California for this week-long event. That's kind of the way it is here. Carlee mentioned we basically been out of business with our social events for the last couple of years because of COVID. What we hear from our participants is, we travel all over the world and fish up and down the East Coast, but for 1 week of the year, or 10 or 12 days, we're all going to be in Morehead City, and I want to see my friends. And they miss the opportunity to socialize with each other and see one another.
That's great. Well, and
it's
so great for our community too. It brings a lot of people here. It's great for our restaurants and tourism, and I think everybody here gets really excited about it. You see people watching TV and listening to the radio the whole time.
Now, they don't listen to the radio at work at the community college now, do they? Of course they don't. I mean, we've reached out in so many ways to bring the tournament to folks that can't be here, but who have friends that fish, or the guy down the street or the guy from the marina. They're just interested, and you can follow us all over the place on social media, online. You can listen to the radio.
Tournament.
thebigrock.com, and you listen to Randy on the radio, and the captain's talking back and forth, and you can literally hear the excitement in a captain's voice when he says, Randy, I just put one in the boat, and I'll be there in an hour and a half.
So just so the people who are thinking about fishing this year are aware of what they're trying to beat, what is the all-time record for the Marlin
boy.
tournament?
It's
800 and some odd pounds.
914 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
Top dog based out of Maryland.
Yeah. See, I missed that because they weighed that fish in the middle of the awards banquet, and I was in the Civic Center conducting the awards banquet, and we just all stopped, and they weighed that fish in down here on the waterfront, and I sat in a chair at the Civic Center and watched them weigh it in. Couldn't even be there.
Did they have a walkie-talkie or
and
something?
See these young people, they remember all these things. That's good.
Well, it's just an incredible story because they fought the fish for several hours, and the problem was they couldn't get it in the boat. They had to spend an additional 2 or so hours brainstorming ideas, and during that time, they only had 3 or 4 guys on board that day, and they were radioing other participants and getting ideas from people they were competing against. And I think that really speaks to the camaraderie of the tournament. And
absolutely.
They ended up having to, I think, tie the tail up to one of the ladders or something on the boat and got it in at the very last minute.
They made it.
They made it.
They made
It's
it.
a lot of fun.
They made it.
And they're legends. And I feel like year after year we keep having these stories of maybe not a record-breaking fish, but in 2020 we had an outboard win the tournament for the first time since the 60s, and last year we had a young junior angler. He wasn't a junior angler, he was in his teens, but won the Big Rock tournament at 19 years old.
Yeah.
That's really
incredible.
amazing.
It reminds me of the line in the movie. We obviously need a bigger boat. That applied in the Top Dog. And then the other thing is we always say, boy, I've seen it all, and it seems to be eclipsed every year, Tracy. And I wish I could remember a lot of it now, but it does. It is. I've been there for quite some time, but yeah, there's just moments like that seem to be eclipsed every year. You know, and they're special again. You know,
That's great.
making memories.
Well, one of the questions we are asking on all the podcasts is what you're currently reading these days. And so, do either of you have something to share with the listeners?
Well, I recently picked up The Paris Apartment for hopefully a beach summer murder mystery kind of read, but every day I try to read a page out of the little book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I got it from my mentor in college, and it's kind of helped me with my self-awareness and understanding others, and it's just an easy way to get my day started and practice patience.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm currently reading Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, one of the classics. And I honestly, I almost wish I'd picked the abridged version. There's so many references to French history that I'm just not up to speed on.
Are you reading it in French or in English?
No, I'm reading it in English, but I'm pretty sure I'm reading the original, unabridged, 800,000 word version.
It's funny you mentioned that. I haven't thought about that book in so long, but when I was in high school, I took 4 years of French, and in our senior year, we read Les Miserables in French.
Wow.
I don't think I could do that again.
It's hard enough in English.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
it is.
Well, I was thinking about the two of you and this book question, and I was wondering if you've ever heard of the book or movie Big Fish.
Have not.
Never heard of it, but I've seen a lot of big fish.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's actually about a catfish, a legendary big catfish, but it's really wonderful. It's by a North Carolina author named Daniel Wallace, and it's one of the best books I've ever read. It's a little older now, but there's a great film that was directed by Steven Spielberg, so you might want to look it up.
Might have to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll read the book.
Well,
Ask Carlee about the movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Thank you all for being here. We're really excited about this year's tournament, and we really are grateful for the partnership that Big Rock Foundation and Blue Marlin Tournament have with our community. And it's great to hear a little bit more about the philosophy behind it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yeah, you're more than
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. It's been our pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.